Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel. As part of my big product unboxing earlier tonight, I got in Nemo's War from a gentleman off of Board Game Geek from Victory Point Games. I played, it looks like I have just the base game. If you remember, I got the base game as part of a trade with Jester I did earlier this year. I liked the base game when I played it so much I decided to grab the Ultimate Edition. Mostly because there were supposed to be some expansions in there, but rather than guess, I figured I'd just grab the Ultimate Edition and be done with it. So in this video, we're going to crack the Ultimate Edition open and see what all we've got in here. First up, let's look at the back. How will the world remember your voyage? Nemo's War is an immersively thematic strategy experience. Assume the role of Captain Nemo and set sail circa 1870 in the famed Nautilus submarine. Search the oceans and littoral lands, find mysterious treasure, combat vessels of all nations, brave the hazards of the sea, behold and chronicle amazing wonders, and travel around the world in your quest for knowledge, adventure, and vengeance. Carve out your own 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This Ultimate Edition includes all of the Nemo's War expansion content, including the new Journey's End expansion. Enrich your journey on the deadly seas with new adventures, new upgrades for the Nautilus, new 2-player versus mode, and 2 additional miniatures, all integrated into one box and one set of rules. And of course, Nemo's War is based on the novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. Available for free from Project Gutenberg at gutenberg.org. 2 new ship miniatures, adds 2 new motives for Captain Nemo. Each motive requires a different style of play to prioritize, and each of those styles also presents numerous helpful sub-strategies. We've got 58 new cards from the Journey's End, and entering the story is Nemo's son, Nadine Dakar, who crosses paths with his father after hearing news of mysterious events at sea. Unfortunately, we've already got a place that's kind of open. I've just been lightly working on the tear. We'll use that to find our way into the shrink wrap. We've got the shrink wrap off. So now let's crack the box open and see what we've got in here. There's the rule book. Looks like that's the main rule book, looks like. The Between Voyages guide, which looks like a campaign guide, so we're not going to crack that yet. We'll give the main rule book our cursory thumb through. We've got, holy cow, we've got a lot of punch board in here, it looks like. We've got our ships. The backs of those, you can see those do flip into warships. More punch board. Okay. These should be the treasure tokens. Evening, Philip. You're just in time to see me go through Nemo's War Ultimate Edition. Then we've got the miscellaneous tokens over here. I'm just getting caught up on a whole bunch of product unboxings that I've been meaning to get to. This one was one that just came in earlier tonight, though. Actually, we can bring this out of the way for a second. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's a classic novel by Jules Verne about Captain Nemo going on an adventure on board his sub, the Nautilus. I was about to say U-boat for some reason, but it's a little too early for U-boats. Board looks exactly the same as in the base game. So very cool there. Nice and familiar, thankfully. Just ordered something yourself yesterday. Ooh, what caught your eye? If you don't mind my prying a little bit. We've got more punch board here with the characters. I'm not sure what these are. I'm sure that'll be explained in the rule books. Baggies, which I'll probably need more of. 2 packs of cards, which is usual. I don't punch the cards. I don't break the cards open until I'm ready to deal with them. We've got a treasure bag, which I can get my hand into for now and rattle it around. We'll see if that's still true when I get all the treasures in here. Another bag for the ships. That one I can get my hand in a little bit more easily. Then we've got the treasures. The Nautilus Mini. The ship minis. Are probably our uprising cubes, and then notoriety and action point markers. Let's make sure it's empty under the insert. Yep, it's empty under the insert. Ow. Soccer Blast and MLS 23-24 for Soccer Express. Nice. Is that one of the play games? One of the games by Play Sports is where I'm going with that in that slight ramble. I know Stone Mountain Press has a soccer game, but I don't think that's it. I could be wrong, though. Anyway, I think we're all done with all of this, so once I get everything else back in the box, we will give the main rule book our cursory thumb through. Let's see, I think we went... Whoa! Did not mean to jar the camera there. That is a play game, okay. I kind of figured it was a play game just based on Play also having made Hockey Blast, which admittedly I've never gotten. I've tried to get into Hockey Blast, but I don't know. Jester sent it to me a long time ago, and I just never really got into it. I don't know. But let's zoom this in. Maybe I need to pull it out and put it back on the channel at some point. It's probably not going to be this off-season. Already have Dice United. Cool. I may look into trying to put Hockey Blast on the channel in the off-season from 2009-10, but we'll have to see about that. Anywho, let's give the rulebook for Nemo's War Ultimate Edition a thumb through. Okay. And I definitely like how they have... Let me bring this in. And it might be a little bit hard to see here, but I do like how there are some notes in the margins. Let me tip that up just a bit. I do like how there are notes in the margins that'll help explain things a little bit more easily. Because I'm still very much learning Nemo's War, but I liked my first play of it enough to pick up the Ultimate Edition. And to be perfectly honest, the price I got for this thing was a complete steal when I bought this off of Board Game Geek. And yes, the solitaire game, so yep, I definitely prefer that. Okay. Yep. Game setup and related instructions are in the Between Voyages guide. We've got all of our components there, yep. Everything is there. Looks like the Between Voyages is mostly the main rules. Well, we might have to give that a thumb through as well here, now that I'm looking at this. Okay. Yep, I definitely remember everything being straightforward here. And admittedly, Philip, I know I'm kind of rambling a bit, but I was never really a big fan of soccer. So I probably wouldn't like soccer tabletop games based on not being a big soccer fan. Okay. Not into RPG and war games anymore, mostly sports sim games. That's fair. Everybody's got their own little thing. I I kind of like a little bit of all across the board, where I like my Euros, I like my war games, I like my RPGs, I like sports games. So I'm kind of a little bit of everything here. Just continuing to thumb through. Lull turns were definitely one of the most annoying things in my first playthrough of Nemo's War, but just something I had to get used to. I don't think we're going to worry about thumbing through the Between Voyages guide, though, because I do want to make sure I have time. I do want to make sure I have a little bit of time tonight to set up my video for tomorrow. Plus, everything is very much... Everything looks to be mostly... Well, we'll see how straightforward it is. You like when I do baseball and other sports games. Cool. Well, thanks for the kind words on that. There will definitely be a lot of hockey in the next couple of months once my 2009-10 hockey season replay heats up. Well, the hockey pun would be cools off, but you know where I'm trying to go with that, I hope. And I don't know if you saw the big product unboxing earlier, but I've got something new that I'm going to try with my Stratomatic hockey line changes in the next couple of weeks as I'm getting ready for said replay. Okay. And then that's everything in the rule book. And I'll bring this back in shot. And that is everything in the box for Nemo's War Ultimate Edition. Once I turn the camera off here, I'm going to start setting up tomorrow afternoon's video of Slay the Spire, the board game, from Contention Games. If you watched the big product unboxing I did earlier, I alluded to a change on Mystical Munchies for this week. Instead of doing the fried cheese dumplings that I was going to do out of the World of Warcraft New Flavors of Azeroth cookbook, I'm going to do salty dog crackers instead. Because even though it's summer, I kind of feel like making a batch of chili, mostly because chili is going to freeze very well. So I want to see how crackers go in that chili. So we're going to do the salty dog crackers instead on Mystical Munchies. Also Saturday, we're going to continue knocking off rust with my hockey systems as we play a game of Inside the Crease Hockey by Inside Sports Games. Sunday, we're going to have yet another debut on the channel as we play Silent War 2.0 from Compass Games. And then Monday, I don't want to go through everything on the channel, but I will mention that Monday, we'll be continuing Metal Gear Mondays with Metal Gear Solid, the board game, as we move into the second building in the Shadow Moses complex. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.